Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich Ukraine. Let us continue on from where we last left off. So, we've gotten our railway guns into the armed forces. We're getting some good organizational skills because... Wait, what is this? That is an artillery, right? Motorized artillery. That's not very good. Why are you here? So Canada has ended hostilities with the American Union State. Canada has completely pieced out of the war with America. They've lost New England, which is fine. We just need the CSA to lose. That is it. Genuinely, that's all we care about. Aside from that, we've gotten better organizational rates. Political advisor, I'm kind of still thinking about getting Olena. That 0.3% combat casualties, it cuts down the penalty, I think, in half. Because I think you lose, what, 0.6? And it always, like, tanks. Especially if we're very likely to be invaded. We need high war support. So because of that, that's why I'm thinking about her. Actually, I'm actually curious. If I take her right now, is it just a 0.3% passive? No, it doesn't look like it. I was kind of hoping that she would just give us a 0.3%. Just passively forever. But I guess we don't have combat casualties, so... Fair enough. 1941. Basic medium. 1940 for improved small airframes. Machine guns. How expensive are you by default? 18. You know what? Fine. We'll take you. Get this guy going. We do need to get our air research done. Our air focus. So Greece has capitulated. It does look like the socialists did win in Greece, which is a shame. They're going to join the Internationale, but between Bulgaria and Albania, they should be more than capable of dealing with Greece. I'm pretty sure. And hey, Danube has finally annexed Hungary. So they will be a strong ally for us going into the future. 5.3 thousand rifles. Tank numbers are starting to come up as well, which is great. We have, what, one tank here being built. Do you have enough tanks for the next army? Probably not, right? You actually do. It's really just infantry equipment is just our bottleneck right now. But at the same time, I kind of need to make sure we have all of our fortifications done before I can just buy more rifles. Because, I mean, as much as I would like to buy the guns, right now I just can't do it. Okay, there's some better AA guns. This does improve the, it does actually also improve static AA, so you know what, I do want to get you guys going as well. Because if Russia has 2,000 planes and they all come bomb Kiev, I need to make sure we can actually shoot them down. And we want to make sure they just do not have air superiority. Well, they will have air superiority. We want to try to limit that, though, as much as we possibly can. Okay, they're still amenable, which is great. I didn't think they would be, honestly. I was really hoping... Okay. Our hopes under threat. It's been some time since the passing of the National Defense Act, and its provisions are certainly being carried out, granting Ukraine the tools it needs to defend itself. While the internal threats of the People's Republic have largely withered away, the Act's passing, as much as was a sign of much needed unity in national Zalbury, one prospect still looms at large. Reality is hitting that the Russian invasion may just be around the corner, and it's not a reality that anyone in Zalbury nor in the whole country wants to be entertained. But in particular, for the dreamers of 1917 who have made it their hope to be an independent free Ukraine come true, it is even more of a dreadful thought. Soon the Second People's Republic will have hit its third year in its existence. Frankly, a time too short, given the Hetman's nearly 2 decades of neglect. Much has happened in the past 2 years, and that is exactly why the thought of Russian invasion razing the fields and towns of Ukraine, undoing everything that we've accomplished, is not the most comfortable thought. Even disregarding Russian ambitions of the reconquest and total subjugation of Ukraine, we are stuck in between a rock and a hard place. The military alliance with Germany will make Kiev a target, and yet this military alliance we cannot forego. The Ukrainian People's Republic has not lived long enough yet, and it has yet to fully show that its dreams of 1917 were something worth fighting for. Hopefully someday we can prove that it is. Get 2% war support. Luckily nobody was on low influence, so we should be fine. And what do I want? I think I want the recovery rate. I don't know if this is, though, is going to cause the the center to go negative. I mean, if the center goes negative, we can just pay the 40% consumer goods. It's not that bad at all. Because right now, we have 15%. 15% early mobilization. Basic expectation is 30. And then we're taking... Factor multiply together is 52%. Negative 15, negative 10, negative 15. Do I not know how consumer goods work? I thought it was just like a flat number. But I guess I am wrong. Because I thought it'd be 30%, and then negative 15 to be 15%, negative 10 to be 5%. So maybe it's actually not as powerful as I thought it was, unless I'm missing something, which is entirely possible. Terrain penalty reduction minus 10%. We're popping off. These are all really good. Terrain penalty is, especially if you have to fight in mountains, is really, really a pain in the ass. Because like right now, a lot of forest. That is a negative... Yeah, it's a negative 40% to attack in forest. So being able to reduce that to a negative 30 is quite nice for us. Let's get you up to 10. Go up to 3. Get you up to 3. Get you up to 3. 5. And then 2. Okay, we'll train up those units where we can. It's going to cost a lot of trucks. It's going to cost a lot of tanks. All that good stuff. But that's only if it's absolutely necessary, which I don't think it will be. But just in case. Is there anything I can do about you? I can pay $200 bucks to get rid of it. And then you are 10% railway construction, and we have to pay Germany 6%. And then we have 10% cheaper trains. So it's actually, like, not that bad. A failed olive branch. The Ukrainian People's Republic is a special nation, and there are special times. Peace is failing. Armies are getting bigger, weapon industries are inflating like never before. Like 1914, all it will take is a spark for it to boil over. And if Germany will not accept that they are at least partially to blame, then we need to take initiative ourselves. That is why the USDRP diplomat Mikhailo Yurevich has been sent on a mission to Moscow for a last-ditch effort. When Yemrev met with the Russian head of state Boris Savinkov, the former tried to find common ground. Was it not in both countries' interest to avoid another potentially even more catastrophic war than that will pit neighbor against neighbor? While Boris Savinkov seemed sympathetic at first, and reaffirmed Russia's recognition of Ukrainian statehood, he became skeptical. This desire for peace, he continued, is not going to be a conductive unless it's backed up by action. If Germany does not wish for war, then why do they continue to maintain such large troop presence in Ukraine and its neighbors? Why are deep fortification lines being further constructed across the Dnieper and the Dugava? If Ukraine wishes for peace, then perhaps they should drop their security agreement with Germany and instead find common ground with their historical brothers. Yuremyev was determined. He added that Ukraine maintains no territorial claims on Russia, and if Germany were to ever attack, then Kiev would stalwartly block any attempt to use its terrain as a strategic ground for the air. Still, it wasn't enough. The condition for a lasting peace in Europe was German withdrawal from the east. It would be a shame for the two states to end up at war, but it is reality if Ukraine is going to be an accomplice of German aggression. In the end, both left the negotiating table. If peace is no longer an option, then there's only one thing left to prepare for. So we're going to lose 1% stability. We're going to get 3% more war support. Overall, stability is looking good. War support is looking fantastic. I'm happy with all these numbers. Now, we are going to be taking a big penalty once we actually end up at war. Soft tack. Plus 2% for 3% construction costs. Let's go with you for now. We then need to upgrade our AA guns. We can do that just fine. Don't show outdated equipment anymore. Thank you. Yeah, we're not building any of these quite yet, but we should start sooner rather than later. And I think once you're finished, I would like to... Actually, we could go to worker self-management. That'd be good. That'd be good. But I want to get at least the air fleet. To get that 30 army air experience, we can actually start training more stuff up. The wealth of the people. State support for cooperative enterprises has always been a common cause for both the URDP and the USDRP. The Ukrainian cooperative movement has steadily grown since the 1860s, and even the Hetmanate assisted it to a degree. The realities of practical governance, however, might put our relationship with the cooperatives into a different context. In order to pursue an ambitious program of welfare reforms, our government turned to one of the most common and reliable sources of state revenue, tax increases. While we did our best to ensure fair and just distribution of tax burdens, complaints were just to be expected. This time, they come from the cooperative businesses. Through public statements and private channels, several cooperative associations voiced their dissatisfaction with the government's course. They say that cooperatives should either be exempt from tax hikes, or at the very least should get a considerable period of grace. Their arguments are the usual. Cooperatives are a natural form of the grassroots and entrepreneurial activities, and their development is crucial for the prosperity of the nation. As for the workers' well-being, they, apparently, already have it covered. Extensive mutual benefit funds and self-help networks provide all necessary accommodations. Surely taking money directly from the workers' pockets only to put it into an ineffective, rigid, and overly bureaucratic system of state welfare isn't the best solution. While this line of reasoning is rather unconvincing, there remains a far more prosaic point of concern. Cooperatives constitute a substantial and well-organized part of our electoral base. Upsetting them too much might jeopardize our political prospects in the future. So we can give less relations with the USDRP, we get more ideology, more war support, or we get 40 political power right now. I would think we will definitely take the political power. I will then use that. Well, who do we have? 8% organization's quite nice. I'm thinking just like defense. Defense would probably be pretty good for us. Yeah, let's get our defense general in here for now. We also get 0.3 army experience, which I mean is nice. It allows us to maybe get some reforms going. Because we're only at level 2. Which is really not where we want to be. Hey, 2 free anti-aircraft guns and 50 German fighters? I'm not gonna say no to that one. Okay, so how are we looking right now? Moderate, 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 and amenable. This is honestly like the best situation we could hope for. We're happy with this. It does mean we cannot do worker self-management because the left is not powerful enough. Do I care about that though? I mean, we can get more political power and more production efficiency base, which would be nice. But I think for right now, let's go for land doctrine cost. 240 free medium tanks is also kind of crazy. I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff on here. Free partial mobilization. I think we do want that. Let's get Revolutionary War. Get our free partial mobilization, which will also give us a handful of free land forts, which is good because, I mean, that's what we're kind of building already. And if you can get the focuses that just give you free land forts as late as possible, it's worth more. Because the cost of forts does just increase the more you have in a province. Okay, don't care about any of you. I don't think we can, like, the Navy is just nothing. We don't care at all. We'll go for a medium 1940 tank. Let's get that bad boy going. Because we already have a decent amount of tanks in storage, then getting even more tanks and better tanks just makes sense. So what are our numbers looking at right now? We're at 71%. Did they still have in core? Germany! Okay, they did. Yes, that was a 17%. Japan has threatened German positions in Asia. February this year. That's actually February last year. And Russia has threatened action. Okay, so we're not at 75% quite yet, but we are getting there. So I mean, are we going to get to September? I'm kind of leaning towards no. I don't think we will. At least not right now. Fewer refining, I don't think we need. We'll take a better, even better equipment conversion speed. Let's get 1 level of armor. It'll be done pretty fast anyways. AA guns, we can get you up to level 2. I mean, we're still not building any for our troops in the field, but that is more than okay. -1 tungsten, could not give less of a shit about. This is for boats. 10% funds gained? Sure, I have no idea what the fuck that means. I have not a single idea what that could possibly entail. But that's fine. We don't need it. Okay, we're now getting more than 1 train a month, which is good for us. We do need more factories. But again, I can't get more factories because I need to build more defensive structures. Everything's... Who knew that everything would be expensive? I didn't know everything would be expensive, but I'm learning now. Our decision to support the USDRP's initiative regarding the proper ideological and educational development of the armed forces has unsurprisingly drawn a lot of criticism. While the loud outcries of General Borbochan and the quiet grumbles of General Olympic Pavlenko were to be expected, dissatisfaction is noticeable even among the more reserved high-ranking officers. Generals Hervik, and that's just a question mark there, Hajvensky are rare examples of members of the military brass sympathetic to our party, particularly to its right wing. This affiliation is rooted in their connection to the party's Socialist Independents and the People's Republicans, many of whom joined the URDP in the 1920s and now constitute its right faction. Now these officers privately contacted the party in order to voice their concerns regarding reforms in the army. The crux of their argument boils down to the simple notion: excessive politicization of the army is harmful, no matter who conducts it, the hetmanist or a Democrat. While we reject the accusations of excessive politicization and maintain that the long-term benefits of the reform will outweigh short-term disruptions caused by it, some among the party call to at least acknowledge the genuine concerns of our allies among the military. Others are more skeptical and see this as a message merely a veiled plea to the party, an appeal to use its influence in order to safeguard the position of the two generals and their associates. Rather rich coming from the people bemoaning the alleged politicization of the army. So the left or the right gain influence? Well, actually, I need the left to gain influence right now for a couple of our focuses. I don't know how we're going to get it to go back down, but we'll see. Because this will allow us to now get our last two focus here. I mean, I guess there's still the support for the NRUZ. So we get like 1, 2, and then 3. And that'd be really, really nice for us. Like, boom, boom, boom. Get those 3. That'll complete our... that'll complete our focus tree here. America has once again declared war on the American Union State. Did they kill the CSA? Because that's usually where that leads. Is when this... Actually, no, the CSA is kind of making a bit of a comeback. Good work, team. You guys have really fucking accomplished much. I'm happy for all of you. I mean, I'm going to blame Canada on this one for invading for no good reason and not supporting the federal government. They could have avoided all of this, really. Like this didn't need to happen. Because they were so close to just killing the CSA. Do I think that CSA is going to make a comeback? I mean, it's not impossible. The CSA is very, very strong. But we'll get our worker self-management. Which will be good for us. Cairo has fallen. So it looks like the Ottomans... Ottomans, how are you guys doing right now? They're doing very, very well. I would love to see the Ottomans be able to join the Reichspakt at some point. Put some pressure. Actually, what about Georgia? Okay, they're standing by Germany, which is good. So we should see Azerbaijan and Georgia join the war effort on our side. If the Ottomans join the war as well, they can invade their way through Central Asia. But they have to kill Iran first, but I believe in them. I believe in them. Jamal Shamir's joined the war. Well, Jamal Shamir, you're already occupied, so I don't know how... Oh my god, this... Okay. This is incredible. This is really, really good. The SRI is going to get nothing done. And I'm here for it. Chief of Navy, Chief of Air Force. Who do we have? Ground Specialist. We probably want you... Yeah, let's get you going. He also just gives the passive air experience gain, which is kind of something I really need. It's so much... Pilot exercises suck. Okay, basic armor for our tanks. I then want to go for the 1936 armor. Let's just kind of keep getting you guys going. We're going to have the 1940 aircraft, which is wonderful. And what do I want with you? I guess we want to maybe go for better engines. Engine 3. We get our engine 3. We'll put all of that onto a 1940 aircraft, and we'll hope for the best. We'll hope for the best. Do I need to do anything here? I don't really want to support our allies in Eastern Europe right now. Is there anything here that we have a ton of? Artillery? Is it 150 artillery? I can give 150 artillery pieces. 250. Okay, we'll get 150 sport equipment then. I don't know who they're giving it to. Probably Belarus. Latvia is still independent. We might see Russia invade Latvia before the Second Victory actually officially begins. Which would be a real pain in the ass. I would love a neutral Latvia. But a Latvia line with the Russians is not something that I have any interest in seeing progress in any way, shape, or form. But I will say that at least right now, I think it's going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So thanks for watching. My name is Anthem. If you enjoyed, thumbs up. Not enjoying, you can always thumb down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.